Yeah, I bet. And let's say a company has invested in SEO, and the CMO is very keen on SEO. But of course, we SEOs know that investing in SEO is one thing. Managing SEO across the company is another thing. And a lot of the time that requires spreading the awareness of SEO so that it's at a very minimum people understand SEO and don't push back on SEO. And I find that that needs to be carried out from an operational point of view as well as a business point of view. So the CMO, for example, at the very least understands SEO. But even with that, even with spreading the awareness of SEO, becoming an SEO evangelist has pushback to it, because a CMO, for example, might say, well, I hired an SEO to do SEO, I don't need to know SEO. How do you go about combating that?
Yeah, nice question. Nice question. So I think this is what I face mostly in general. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think either it's a CMO or a VP of marketing or VP of growth or whatever. In most cases, people are not obligated to know all things around SEO or performance marketing or influencer marketing. So this is when you're coming in and you introduce yourself and you kind of take ownership of this medium, of its medium. So I would say at the end of the day, everyone wants to speak on their language, and their language is sales or installs or these very end goals and not very top of the funnel. But I would say what I have found, what I actually do, I have found through the past years to be working pretty good is making sure that you have straightforward KPIs from the beginning. You make sure that they are challenging, but at the same time they're realistic, and you make them understand first that you can't go from A to Z without having the whole journey. You need to create a staged KPI approach where I tend to have it on a quarterly basis. So every quarter we have a one step further KPI, more mature. So we kind of building a roadmap where you start from the very basic and setting the foundation, then you move to something a bit further, a bit more mature, then more mature, and then goes on. Where at the end you need to have a KPI that is the main company KPI. So you present them something concrete from the beginning. And then the second is like make them understand, this is the proper approach, and you can just, justify with all the work. Like, for example, if you start having on a business that hasn't invested before on SEO, maybe you could start with, look, we need to have a KPI around the top, the non-branded keywords on the first page for the given market that we're targeting just for the quarter. This is the first step, the first stage. In order to do this, we need to, do the keyword research, optimize the website from a technical perspective, create relevant content based on the keywords that we have agreed. On the second quarter, we move to the next stage. That would be purely non-branded organic traffic. So this, the KPI that we had on the previous quarter, which was the non-branded keywords on the first page, will translate to organic traffic. Yeah. Then, next stage we'll have, conversions. And, at some point we also need to have, payback revenue and all this stuff. But you cannot move, from day one to, okay, let's do like this amount of revenue, because at the end of the day, this is not realistic. And for someone that, is not an SEO savvy guy, which it's totally acceptable, and wants just to, like the CMO, they just want to present the goals of the marketing team to the CEO, to the executives team. So they just take your KPIs, your OKRs, they share it with them, and then you are accountable for those numbers. So if you haven't set up correctly, if you haven't justified why you picked them, why you picked this type of KPI, and why you picked this number, then end of the quarter you'll just end up saying like, oh yeah, I got screwed, and this is not the case you want to be.